I was watching a video of a woman that had a channeled message. And there are a lot of people that channel entities or beings for higher guidance or higher wisdom. And then they relay a message, like on YouTube. They use a platform and they say, this message is from the Arcturian Council. This message is from Mother Mary. This message is from Jesus. This is a channeled message for you to receive, for humanity to receive. And then they go into a channeled, and they come out with this message that the world needs, that humanity needs, right? And I was watching this video of this woman that was doing just that. She says, I have a very important channeled message and it came through very strongly and I want to share it with the collective, And I've known people that were channels, I guess mediums and things. And I was always really fascinated with this. What does this really mean? Like, what's going on here? And, connecting to higher light beings. I've had my own, experiences. Maybe we all have. But I was watching this woman and something interesting happened. I had this thought or this insight or whatever. When we say we're channeling a message and some, divine messenger comes through us, what if it's actually subconsciously easier for us to put an entity or a being connected to a message we have, as opposed to actually just being the messenger and saying this divine wisdom actually comes from me and I feel like the world needs to know it and I'm going to share it. I think there is still some part of us that's afraid to admit that we have divine wisdom inherently in us. And so what happens is, because there is still this feeling of unworthiness, that we're not worthy of this wisdom, that it must come from some higher divine being. What if those higher divine beings are simply archetypes? The Mother Mary, the Jesus, the aliens, the whoever's, giving you messages. And we subconsciously put someone else's voice that seems more powerful. And it seems like, well, if I relay this message through this voice, then my message will be heard and people will take me seriously and people will see me as a, important or the divine messenger, instead of just saying, I am the divine messenger and this is the message that I need to tell to the world because it'll help somebody in some way. I think we're still afraid of the power of our own wisdom, and to say that this wisdom came from the mighty I am in me and I'm sharing it with you. So instead of doing that, our mind is really powerful, our nervous system is really powerful, our subconscious is really powerful, and I think it can pull from whatever we feel is divine and holier than thou. And so we can say, there's so many channelers. If you look up on YouTube channeled messages from, you'll see people that channel from the Galactic Federation, the people that channel from divine star beings, people that channel from, Buddha, whoever, And I think, what if you are actually just experiencing your own divinity, and because you still feel unworthy of that, you need to put a channel between you and your divine voice. And I saw that when this lady was speaking. You know, when channelers go to channel, they kind of do this thing and they go inward, and suddenly another voice comes through. But what if that voice is simply your higher self trying to be seen? Instead of just saying, this wisdom comes from the mighty, my highest self is giving you this wisdom. They put an archetype or an energy or a ascended master or somebody else above it. So you put yourself in the back seat. I'm just the carrier. I'm just the passenger. Here's the message. Don't shoot the messenger if this is too big, because I don't want to own up to the power of my own wisdom. I don't want to own up to the power of my own voice that could change somebody's life. I don't think I'm worthy enough to give a message so powerful. So let me put Jesus' name there. Let me put, whoever's identity in front of my own, instead of just saying, what if you just met yourself at the highest place and just accepted that you are divine and you have divine wisdom inherently given to you by God, the higher power, and that it's in your voice and in the trust and conviction in that voice that you can share to the world. Traveling gives you an opportunity to meet people in all walks of life. And what I've learned from 7-year-olds could fill a book, and they don't feel the need to put a channel between their voice and you. If you've ever been around children, they're very eager to teach you something, to tell you something, and they don't question their own authority. They don't question their own divinity when they speak to you. There's something in them that already knows that they are divine. This is like before the stage that they get corrupted by the outside world. And I've just been noticing a lot of these videos and people saying, so-and-so gave me this message to tell the collective and I want to share it, And I look at these people and I'm like, if you have divine wisdom, I believe that it's you. I don't actually believe that it's an alien, that it's some other light being from a different galactic, I believe that your wisdom is important, and I believe that your voice is important. And I think more of us need to own that and accept that divinity is like a birthright, Talk about Jesus a lot, and that is one thing that I think is at the core of his teaching, is that it's always been inside of you. You don't need to put another face or name behind the power and conviction of your own wisdom. Wherever that comes from, we always look for, where does that come from? It must be something channeling through me. Let me put a divine face or name over my own. We'd say when we look at Christ, we should see our own eyes. Do you? Do you? Because if you did, I think you would see that it can be very scary to look at your face, to look at yourself in the mirror, and see the divine in you. And I think that's, what a lot of people struggle with. I've had my own struggles with this. And so I sent a message to that woman on the video that I saw. I didn't mean any disrespect, but I thought, I don't think I need a channel to know that that divine wisdom you just shared, which was beautiful, came from you. This mighty I am within you. And I believe that. And I believe that in all people. All people have some beautiful wisdom that they can share, that somebody can learn from. We were never meant to have just one teacher. That's why God created humanity, so we could all learn from each other. That's it. Doing okay. Ciao.